One of the biggest secrets of professional videography is preparation. You will seriously underestimate the amount of preparation that professionals do to create quality video content. I'm just going to highlight some of the top things that you should think about when creating your own content. First of all, who's going to present it? Will you be doing that yourself, or have you decided to hire somebody in like an actor? Not all of us are great at presenting. If you've decided to hire an actor who can more persuasively deliver your message, be sure to get them to sign a talent release that allows you to use the content that you've just captured in which they're featured for promotional purposes. You definitely need a talent release for that, and make sure you've signed that and have that in place before you use your video content. Think about your location. Where your film can have an emotional resonance with your viewer. For example, if you decide to film in an industrial complex, that might give the overall impression that you're building something, or that something's dark and heavy and mechanical. If you're trying to promote something to do with organic produce, maybe you want to film in a garden type environment because that's the right kind of setting for organic produce. Your location can give a lot of contextual information to your viewer in a very digestible way, so it's worth thinking about. The other thing you might want to think about is batch production. So if you're creating content for social media, the chances are that you'll have to create a lot of content, or you have to create it on an ongoing basis. That can be quite challenging if you're busy working on other things. Batch production is a really good way of creating a lot of content in one sitting, and then in post-production you edit that content and you create small segments out of the original video that you shot. That way you could do a shoot that lasts 30 minutes, 60 minutes, and then in post-production you edit those that longer clip into shorter segments of say 6 or 7 videos, and then you can publish those 6 or 7 videos over the period of, I don't know, 6 or 7 weeks. So that actually gives you a schedule of content to work with over a longer period of time, because of course social media is very content hungry and will want you to feed it on a regular basis. You also need to plan your ideas and know what you need to communicate. So you'll have to write out the copy that's meant to be read during your presentation or during your acting or whatever it is that you're recording. So the copy is basically the text that you will be using, and it has to be concise and it has to be persuasive and it has to be on point. Along with that, you'll have to think about the visual representation, so the storyboarding. Think about all of the scenes that you will need to shoot, that you will need to record to make your video. So planning for this dramatically reduces the chances that you go out and prepare to shoot something and then forget to capture some kind of video content, and then in post-production you have a gap missing in your narrative, or you're missing some visuals. So if you storyboard, it's a good way of kind of visualizing all of the scenes that you need for your production. When you visualize these, you might think about framing conventions, whether it's going to be a medium shot, close-up, or a long shot. You might also think about using props in frames, so you know what's actually in the frame. Think about the entirety of what you're filming. What's the viewer going to see? There might be somebody delivering a presentation, but is there anything else that the person is seeing as well? Do you need any other props? So you can prepare to have them in place as well. So in addition to storyboarding and preparing your copy, the other thing you should think about is where you're actually going to publish your video. This shouldn't be an afterthought. This is a part of your preparation, because of course if you're publishing to social media, you need to be aware that different social media platforms have different technical specifications, but more importantly, different aspect ratios or different size videos are popular on different social media channels. For example, vertical video is far more engaging for viewers on Facebook. TikTok only accepts vertical video. Vertical video again is very popular on Snapchat, but landscape video is still popular on YouTube and LinkedIn. So you need to know which platform you're publishing to, so you can know what kind of aspect ratio to create your video for. So that's going to be vertical, it might be square, or it might be landscape. And of course you need to know about these aspect ratios early on, because it affects the way that you compose your image, and it affects the storyboard that you're going to create. So there are some of the things that you need to think about in preparing for creating your own content. So you've got whether you're going to use actors, what kind of location you're going to be filming in, whether you're going to do batch production and create lots of social media content in one sitting. You should think about your storyboard. You should think about copy that's delivered during the presentation. And of course, you should think about where you're publishing your content at the time that you're making your content. Okay?